friends, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if this is your first time here, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Is there an introduction that's needed? I mean, we saw the title. It's a book haul of everything that I brought back from my trip to Apollycon. I am still in recovery mode. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but we're still struggling to get it together over here, okay? So yes, no long introductions. We're just gonna jump right into it. So I will try to notate like which books were free, as in we got them in like swag bags or someone gifted it to me. The one like major stack that will be different than the rest is the books that I brought back from my friend Jenna. And yeah, we're just gonna hop right into this thing and get into the books that I brought home. Okay, so the first stack of books that I'm gonna go through are books that Jenna was unhauling and she sent me pictures of, and I was like, I want this one, this one, and this one, and she set them aside for me until I got there. The first book is A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos. Next, we have Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. Next, we have Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. And funny story about this book, Jenna actually brought this book to Apollycon to get signed. And she ended up getting another book by Laura, and you can only have 3 items signed in an author's line. So she opted not to have this one signed. But also, as soon as we got back to her house, she was like, I want to read this book, but I do not want these covers because they have like the new discreet covers. And I was like, well, I would love to have this book, and I don't care. Like, I typically don't like people on the cover, but like these covers aren't bad. So I was like, I don't mind to build my collection with the manly covers and not the discreet covers. That's fine by me. The next book I got is Graceling by Christine Cashore. And I do have this book currently, but I wanted the pretty new covers and she had it. So Graceling came home with me. Next is When Life Gives You Vampires by Gloria Duke. I have seen this book around before, but I haven't heard anything around about it. Jenna said she enjoyed it, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. I'll give it a shot. The next 2 books that I got are There Are No Saints and There Are No Devils by Sophie Lark. And I knew I had these at Jenna's house before we left to go to Apollycon, and I did not take the chance to take them with me to have them signed. I don't know why. If you watched my last video, you knew the struggle to get books back. So I was very adamant about not bringing any books. There I was, but I have read the series and I enjoyed it. I can't wait to read it again physically, like holding the book. So love that for me. And then the last stack of books is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, but this is the full trilogy in hardback. And I did have the first book already, but I had it in the paperback version, so I am going to be getting rid of that. And since now I have all 3 in hardback. So that was the first set of books that was gifted to me. Okay, so I'm just going to go through these stacks and I will let you know if it was gifted, if it was in a swag bag, or if it was something that I purchased. I just feel like that's probably going to be the quickest way because I already had these books like organized, and I don't want to take them out of their organized position. Okay, we're going through a stack of like pretty hardback books first, which love that for me. So this first book is Half Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this was actually given to me by my friend Whitney while we were at Apollycon. This came in one of her swag bags, but she does not read, she don't read thick books. I mean, yeah, Whitney, correct me in the comments, but I don't think she likes like the thicker, on the thicker side, books on the thicker side. And this was the book that I had signed by JLA. This is my favorite color, and it's just beautiful. I know nothing about this. I don't know if it's a new series that she had, if it's a standalone book. I need to do my Googles, but it's beautiful. The next hardback is Unconditional by QB Tyler, my queen. And this is a book that I picked up at her table. It is so beautiful. I think this is a special edition copy of one of her very first books. Don't quote me on that, but it's beautiful. Next is A Darkness of Light by Stacey Marie Brown. And this is actually the prequel to her Savage Land series. This is a 10-year special edition, which she did let me know is available on her. Oh my gosh, y'all. I keep finding bookmarks and QR codes. But she did let me know that this was available on her website, because I was very concerned about the entire series matching. And so yeah, I should be able to get the series, like these special editions, on her website. It's so beautiful. Next is Stars and Shadows series by Holly Renee. And this is the special edition bind up, and it is so beautiful. Y'all, it is so, look, it is so beautiful. I'm very happy. This is one that, like, when I was at her table and I was trying to decide if I was going to buy it, I was going back and forth because the series is shorter, and I'm like, to have it all in one place and bound so beautifully, how could I not? Like, look at how gorgeous this book is. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Okay, next is A Fire in the Flesh, and this came in our registration swag bag. It's so beautiful with the nice sprayed edges and the nice interior. Like, this is the one that I had her personalize. Yeah, she only personalized one during the signing just because of all the craziness that surrounded the signing. If you watched my last video, you know. But yes, this is so nice. And this will be a display book because I do have like the hardback of this. And this book is just gonna be to look pretty on my shelves. Okay, so the next two books I got is the Book of Azrael and Throne of Broken Gods by Amber V. Nicole. And these are signing exclusive, Apollycon signing exclusives. They are so pretty with the foiling on the front. And then they both have like a nice little quote on the back from the book. And then this next book is The Bone Witch Chronicles by Ivy Asher, which is another like bind up. And I just realized that my book took a little damage, probably in the suitcase. It's not much, but it's very sad. I do think, let me see here. Was this the one? Yes, it is the one. Look at how beautiful. I mean, like, I could honestly take the dust jacket off because this is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it is so gorgeous. We were standing in line waiting to like talk to Ivy Asher, and so we were just looking at all her books, and Jenna kept going, look at that book. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty beautiful. And we get up to the line and we're both like, we cannot leave without that. So we bought it. But it is a bind up, so I don't know how many books is in it, 3 or 4, but we rescued that book that day. This book is called Reveal by Lisa Mia Smith. I think that is how it's pronounced. And this is a Moulin Rouge retelling. She had beautiful editions available at her table. This is a new to me author. I actually walked up to her by myself because Jenna was in line for a pre-order pickup, and got the opportunity to chat with this author and learn more about the book. But I also found out that she has a craft writing podcast, and I'll put that down here so that if you are a writer and you want to know more about the writing craft, you can go check out her podcast and see what information she has to offer. The next book I bought at the Barnes & Noble on site, and that is Visions of Flesh and Blood, and it is the Barnes & Noble exclusive by Miss JLA, and it is so pretty, very pretty. I haven't even peeked under. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Look how beautiful that is. But what got me was also like the end pages. I do know this is a compendium. Is that what it's called? There's the back. And compendium. I think that's how it's pronounced. And if you've read the From Blood and Ash series, this is following Mrs. Willa Collins. And we know we love her. So yeah, I'm excited to get into that. I also got A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen, and it has the pretty blue sprayed edges. So nice, so nice. And then this last book in this stack was a part of the swag bag that we got at registration as well, and it's Mortal Follies by Alexis Hall. I have not read from this author, but I think I have 2 books from hers. It's boyfriend material and husband material. And so I'm thinking of doing these like new author videos, especially if I have like 3 books from them, where I read 3 books in from that author in one vlog and kind of decide if that author is for me based on those 3 books. And so this author now officially meets that criteria, which I might do. This is pretty as well. Under the jacket, very pretty. I might be taking the jackets off of all of these if I'm being honest. Okay, so this first book is a complete series bind up, and it is The Hades Trial by Eliza Rain and Rose Wilson. Very pretty cover. She thick. We love to see it. The next set that I am going to show is a complete series, and it is by Catherine Moon. It is the Tempting the Monster series, and it's a 4-book. So the deal was buy 3 of the books, get the novella free, and it is A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, The Company of Fiends, Sanctuary of Kings, and The Basilisk of Star Manor. So I had already read A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor and ate this book up. So I had all intentions of buying that book. And then my friend Whitney was like, if you love book 1, book 2 is so good, but brace yourself. And so then when I got to the table and I realized that she had like a signing or like a deal on the book, I was like, you know what? I'll just take the whole series. It's fine. They will get read. I also got artwork for free. I got artwork for each book. And I also got another set of artwork that was definitely NSFW. I will leave that there. My apologies if the angle keeps changing. I've had so many interruptions trying to get this video done before I start work. Okay, so let's just keep it going. I have 3 more stacks to go through after this one. Okay, so the next book I picked up by Sophie Lark is Minx. And if you know about this book, and you know me in real life, no you don't. One of the most proud purchases that I made is for the Vicious Lost Boys bind up, and this is so beautiful. Like, this is so beautiful. I have a very lovely story that maybe one day in my life I will be able to share about Nikki St. Croix. I can't right now, but one day. One day. The next book I got is Autumn's Tide by Hannah Parker. This author was so amazingly sweet. When we were at her table, she has like a publishing company that she's taking queries for, and I was talking to her a little bit about my book, and she was like, I need that under me. And I'm like, oh, I need to finish this book. So this would probably be the only person I would query my book to instead of just straight out indie publishing. But it was so nice to talk to her, and she was just fantastic. This last book is Of Shadow and Moonlight, and it's by Luna Laurier. I'm probably butchering her. It's very beautiful. I also bought a shirt from this author. Okay, so the next book I bought was Guild by Raven Kennedy. I also bought Fortuna Sworn and Restless Slumber by KJ Sutton. And meeting KJ Sutton was just, I mean, it was a treat within itself. She is super nice. She's super sweet. And the advice she gave me about writing was so good. I am just very happy that we were able to make it over to her table and talk to her and just have that human connection, because she is an amazing person. The next book that I got is Hellgate by Victoria Eden, and this is a beautiful edition. Like, look how beautiful that is. I think this is a standalone fantasy Wachoose book. Don't hold me to that. I did get another couple books from her that we'll get to. Next is 2 books by QB Tyler, and that is Keep Her Safe and The Worst Kept Secret. I have read Keep Her Safe, but this is one that I was like, I am going to buy, because there is a scene that lives rent-free in my head in this book, okay? So I had to own it. And then this one is one of her new releases that came out in December. I have already read the prequel to this. Daddy Kink, age gap, we're just gonna leave it there, okay? The next book I got was The Puckin' Wrong Number by C.R. Jane. I also picked up, okay, these were the 2 other Victoria Eden books that I got, and that was Trick Play and Matching All the Way, Hockey Romance. You know we love it. All 3 of these were hockey. Didn't even realize that. 2 more hockey romances that I picked up by a new to me author, and that is Bella Matthews. And I got Keeper and Wildcat. I also got some NSFW artwork from this author as well. Very spicy. And then, oh, this is just like a stack of hockey romance. And then the next book that I picked up was Pucked by Helena Hunting. Okay, so the next book that I got is Drown the Sea by Alicia Kemp. I heard her speak on one of the panels, and I was like, I want to read something from that woman, because she was so like sweet. She just had like a very good like presence, and just was very nice and welcoming and open. So I did buy this at the Barnes & Noble. The next book is our series, and it's by Ambrosia Harris. The first book, well, it's a Greek mythology series following Persephone and Hades, but you have Core that is told by Persephone, from Persephone's POV before she was known as Persephone. You have Hades, same timeline as the first book, told in his perspective, and then you have Demeter, which is same timeline as the first 2 books, told in her perspective. And yeah, they are beautiful covers. I just went ahead and bought the whole series because, you know, it was day 2 of signing, and I had already told myself, like, I'm not going to buy that many books. Any books that I buy, I wanted it to be like new to me authors, and I liked the idea of owning this full series. Okay, so the next series I'm going to show you is by Miranda Honfleur, and I did buy all 4 books from her as well. First book being Blade and Rose, second book being By Dark Deeds, the third book being Court of Shadows, and the fourth book being Queen of the Shining Sea. These are thick. I was told that this is compared to Throne of Glass series, and I love the Throne of Glass series. Miranda Honfleur, if you watched my previous video of the Apollycon vlog, she actually had to pull out last minute because of some personal issues with her husband. And she had two friends who lived in the Maryland area who volunteered to come to her table and sell her books. All of these were pre-signed. And yeah, I'm glad that I bought these books. Just knowing what she is going through, could be possibly going through, and being able to use my money to help support someone in need made me feel very well. So this was definitely a guilt-free purchase. The last book was a free book given to us in our after party swag bag, and I had actually bought this book. Yes, I did. I bought this book at the Barnes & Noble on site, and then we get to the after party and I have it in my swag bag. And the other book that I bought is being gifted, because when you see the cover of this book, you're going to be like, wow, chef's kiss. It is The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree, and look at how beautiful. Look at how beautiful this book is. It is so beautiful. I cannot wait to read it. It's nice and floppy. It is so beautiful. So yeah, it was no hesitation whatsoever. The other one is being gifted. This one is staying with me. Okay, we are now on to the last stack of books. Our first book being Brutal Obsession by S. Massery. This is the first book in the Hockey Gods series. I've been eyeballing this for quite some time now. And yeah, me and hockey go together like this, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's 4 books in this series, but I'm glad I got this one so I can get started. This book is also a hockey romance. It's like Apollycon knew I was going to be there. It was included in our after party swag bag, and it is Breakaway by Grace Riley. This next book was gifted to me. It is book 2 in the series, but some sweet soul in a signing line, we made a trade-off on me doing something for her and her giving me a book, and that is Brewed in Magic. And again, this is book 2, so I'm gonna have to track down book 1, but it's pretty. This next book was another book that was included in our after party swag bag, and that is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, which is a book that I've been eyeballing since I started my Bookstagram. I just never made the jump to buy it, so I am excited to read this. The next 2 books were gifted to me by the author at their table as free novellas. First book being I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I don't know what that is. I don't know. By Sierra Simone. I do know it's a vampire, spicy vampire novella. Can't wait to get into this. And then Not Just a Crush by Helena Hunting. The next book was gifted to me by my lovely Whitney, and that is Pen Pile. Y'all should have saw my reaction when she was like, do you want this book? I don't think I'm gonna read it. I screamed because I have read this book and I devoured this book, and it is warranted for a second read, because when you get to the end of the book the first time, you're like, what? And so yeah, I want to go back and read and see if I can put it all together. The best way I can describe this book is dark thriller, gothic romance with a shocking ending. And done very well, might I say. The next book was gifted to me by Jenna while we were there. She loves this author, and I have heard her talk about this author since she came to Nashville in July the first time. And it is The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes by Zio Axelrod. And this author, first of all, this author moderated the panel that QB Tyler and Mila Finelli were on, and that was the panel that I was most excited about. So seeing her interact with my faves was pretty exciting, but she was such a sweet soul, very nice, very encouraging. And so I am excited to get into this book. The next book was included in my Apollycon swag bag, and that is Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. And yeah, I know nothing about this series. Jenna has been yelling at me for months to read it, and now that I have it, yeah, I can't wait to pick it up. This is an art copy. I think this was picked up to be trad published, and because this says that it's actually on sale September 24th. And I think these are the new covers. The next two books are by Joanna Shope, who is also known as Mila Finelli. Joanna is a historical romance author. I have not read any of her historical romance, but I have read all of her Mafia series. And the first book is Sold to the Duke. The second book is My Dirty Duke. And so when I came to her table, I told her that I found her through the Mafia series. To her table, I was like, I've read all your Mafia. I want to go back and read your historical romance. And she said, well, these are some of the spicier historic romance books that I have. And yeah, so I picked them up. Why not? They were relatively cheap, I will say. Okay, and so the next two books are books that were gifted to me. One was in the registration swag bag, and one was in the Night of Right swag bag. The first one is How to Marry a Marble Marquise by C.M. Nacosta. It is a monster romance, but I have read from C.M. Nacosta before, and I have absolutely loved her writing, so I'm excited to get into this. And then the second book that was in the Night of Right swag bag is The Crown of Gilded Bones, and this is the Apollycon exclusive. I cannot wait. Like, me and Kathleen are going to be rereading this entire series, the entire world, including the prequel series, and I actually can't wait to actually sit down and read them in order. I know she's still writing in it. I do have the last book that just recently came out. The newest book comes out in August, I believe. So I feel like by the time we get through all of them, whatever the last book she has written will be out for the series. So yeah, this is the last book that I got that was free in one of the gift bags. So this has been all the books that I picked up at Apollycon. I am extremely happy with all my purchases, all the books that were gifted to me. I feel incredibly blessed. I am going directly back on my book buying ban until Apollycon next year, because I am claiming that I will be there. And yeah, I am just so happy. If you've read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. If you are interested in hearing more about specific books, also let me know that down in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a book stack emoji, because your girl got stacks on stacks on stacks. And if you like this video, make sure you like it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel, and share if you are enjoying the content that I'm providing here so that others can find me. And I will see you all in the next one.